The boiling coffee hit my face like a slap from hell. I screamed, clutching my burning skin as the mug shattered at my feet. Megan stood over me, chest heaving, eyes wide, not with rage but with terror. "You were supposed to help me," she cried. I staggered back, my vision swimming, pain exploding across my cheek. But something stopped me cold. Her hands, they were trembling. Then I saw it. Blood. A dark smear on her sleeve, fresh and wet. This wasn't about the fight, it wasn't about money, or the lies we told our parents, or even the secret she thought I'd spilled. This was something else, something darker. And whatever it was, it had already started. I had said no to transferring the money. It was too much, too sudden, and Megan hadn't even tried to explain. Just a frantic call, tears, then numbers that didn't make sense. And now this. As I wiped the scalding coffee from my face with the edge of my sleeve, Megan lunged forward and grabbed my arm. Her fingers dug in, not in anger, but desperation. "You don't understand," she whispered. "He will kill me." My heart skipped. The air between us turned razor sharp. "Who?" I demanded, but my voice came out cracked and hoarse. She opened her mouth, maybe to explain, maybe to beg again. But then her phone buzzed. We both froze. The screen lit up with a single word. "Run." Everything stilled. Megan's breath caught. Her grip tightened. "Who is he?" I asked. Again, softer this time. She didn't answer. She didn't have to. Her eyes were already darting to the door, calculating. We weren't just in danger. We were being hunted. And whatever Megan had gotten herself into, she'd dragged me in with her. I didn't know the rules, I didn't know the stakes, but I knew one thing for sure. Someone was watching, and he was close. Megan bolted for the door, her shoes skidding on the hardwood as she fumbled with the lock. I stood, frozen, heart pounding, still reeling from the text, "Run," and her whispered plea. She was halfway out when something slipped from her jacket and fluttered to the floor. "Megan!" I shouted, but she was already gone, the door slamming behind her with a bang that echoed through the house. I moved on instinct, crouching to grab the crumpled piece of paper she'd dropped. It was damp, the ink smudged in places, but the handwriting was still legible. Sloppy. Rushed. Desperate. $8,000 by midnight or your daughter dies. My breath caught in my throat, my skin turned to ice. Your daughter. I read it again. Megan doesn't have a daughter. But I do. My knees gave out and I sank to the floor, the note trembling in my hand. My eyes darted toward the hallway, toward the room where Lily should have been curled up with her tablet, probably still in her pajamas, oblivious to the chaos unraveling just beyond her door. I stumbled to my feet, sprinted to her room. The bed was empty. "Lily!" I called, pushing the door open wider, heart racing so fast I could hardly breathe. No answer. The covers were tossed aside. Her backpack was gone. I spun around, frantically searching for any sign, any clue. My phone. Where was my phone? I ran back to the kitchen and grabbed it off the counter, dialing her number with shaking hands, straight to voicemail. I tried again. Same result. A cold sweat broke across my back. I should have known something was wrong. Megan had never begged for anything in her life, not from me. And today she'd been frantic, not selfish, not manipulative, terrified. She was trying to protect me, protect Lily, and I'd told her no. I sank into a chair, trying to keep it together. Midnight. That's all the note said. No instructions, no location, no second chance. I glanced back at the phone. Still no call, no text, just that one word flashing in my memory like a warning siren. Run. Someone had taken Lily, someone who thought Megan was her mother, or who knew she wasn't and didn't care. And I had less than 8 hours to come up with $8 grand, or lose my daughter forever. I called my ex-husband first, straight to voicemail, again and again. I left a message trying not to sound hysterical. "Call me the second you get this. It's about Lily. It's urgent." Then I called Kayla, our babysitter. Voicemail. No rings this time. Her phone was either dead or off. I left a message there too. Voice cracking. "Where's Lily? Please, tell me she's with you." No answer. Panic crept in like rising floodwater. I grabbed my keys and bolted out the door, barely registering that I hadn't even put on shoes. The driveway blurred as I jumped into the car, engine roaring to life, my thoughts a chaotic swirl. Who knew about Lily? Who would want $8,000 badly enough to take her? I hadn't told anyone about Megan's call or the fight, hadn't mentioned the strange late-night messages I'd been getting from an unlisted number. Just spam, I'd thought. Everyone gets weird texts now and then, but now nothing felt like coincidence. And then it hit me. The school. Last week, the principal had mentioned a man hanging around the drop-off area. Said he looked out of place. Black hoodie, head down, no kid in sight. At the time, I brushed it off as paranoia. But Lily had told me something too, hadn't she? There was a man by the fence. He waved at me. She'd said it so casually, like it was nothing. I'd smiled, kissed her forehead, and told her not to talk to strangers. God. I slammed the brakes at a red light and yanked open my glove box, searching for the flash drive. I always saved the past week of our home's security cam footage. It was an old habit from a previous break-in, one I never thought I'd be grateful for. I found it, shoved it into my bag, and changed course, tires screeching as I turned toward the small tech shop near downtown. They owed me a favor. 20 minutes later, I sat hunched over a flickering monitor, while Ethan, the owner's teenage son, fast-forwarded through our front yard footage. "There," I said suddenly, pointing at the screen. "Stop! Go back!" He rewound a few seconds. The figure moved through frame, tall, lean, hoodie drawn up tight, head tilted down. He stood across the street from our house for over an hour, just watching. Waiting. "This was the same day you said your sister showed up?" Ethan asked, glancing over. I nodded. "The night she asked for money." He leaned closer. "This guy's too smooth to be random. Look, he never looks directly at the cameras. He's done this before." A chill raced down my spine. Ethan tapped a few keys. "I can enhance it a bit. Pull metadata, timestamps. Want me to cross-check it with other clips?" "Please," I said, breathless. While he worked, I pulled up my phone and started combing through my recent call logs. I didn't recognize one number that had texted me 3 nights ago. "Your sister is in deep. She won't tell you. Ask her about 2017. I had ignored it, but 2017. That was the year Megan vanished for 6 months. She said she'd gone to rehab, and no one questioned it. Now I wasn't so sure. My phone buzzed again. This time, a message from an unknown number. 7 hours left. Don't call the police, or she dies. Attached was a photo. Lily. She was sitting on what looked like a motel bed, her knees drawn up to her chest, tear stains on her cheeks. Her favorite hoodie was half-zipped, her hair a mess. She was staring straight at the camera, and she was scared. I stared at the photo for a long time, barely breathing. Megan had lied. About the money, about the blood. But she hadn't lied about the danger. And now I had 7 hours to figure out who was behind this, and why they thought my daughter was the one to punish. Because one thing was suddenly terrifyingly clear. This wasn't about ransom. This was personal, and someone out there thought I owed them everything. Ethan froze the frame. "There," he said, zooming in. "Best I can do. The light's garbage, but look at his jawline. That's not some random creep. My stomach turned as the image came into focus. My eyes locked on the half-lit face beneath the hood. The angle was terrible, but the shape of his nose, the stubble, the way his shoulders hunched slightly forward like he was always bracing for a hit. My heart dropped into my gut. It wasn't a stranger. It was Jake, Megan's ex-husband, my brother-in-law. I staggered back from the screen, bile rising in my throat. No, that can't be. Jake had left town 6 months ago. Megan told everyone he'd moved to Arizona, said he needed to get clean, whatever that meant. The police had looked into him briefly, just enough to check a few boxes, then told Megan he didn't pose a threat, that he wasn't worth worrying about. They were wrong, and now he had my daughter. I gripped the table, knuckles white. My mind reeled with memories. Jake at family dinners, cracking jokes, bringing gifts for Lily like she was his own niece. Always charming, always a little too nice. There'd been rumors, of course. Megan never said much, but I saw the bruises once. Saw the way her hands shook when he called. He was the reason she disappeared in 2017. He was the reason she'd come back begging for money. And now, he was the reason I might lose my daughter. "Oh my God," I whispered. "This was never about Megan." Ethan looked up. "You okay?" Number not even close. I grabbed my phone and started dialing Megan's number. It rang once, twice, then voicemail. I hung up and tried again. She picked up on the 4th call. "Megan," I snapped. "It's Jake, isn't it?" Silence. "You knew," I hissed. "You knew it was him." "I didn't know," she said finally, voice small and broken. "Not until I saw the picture he sent me. Of Lily. And by then, I didn't know what to do." "You should have told me. You should have told someone." "I tried. You wouldn't listen. You thought I was just—" Her voice cracked. "You thought I was being me." I didn't respond, because she was right. "I've been paying him for months," she said, "to keep him away. He said he just wanted money, that he'd disappear again, but he always came back." I clenched my jaw. "Why target Lily?" "I don't know," Megan whispered. "Maybe to punish me. Maybe to punish you." The line went dead. I stared at the phone, then at the image still frozen on the screen. Jake's shadowed face, half hidden but unmistakable. He had Lily, and I was done playing his game. This wasn't about $8,000. This wasn't even about revenge. It was about control. It was about fear. It was about him. And I wasn't going to let him win. The warehouse loomed ahead like a skeleton, half collapsed against the night sky. Rusted beams jutted into the dark like broken ribs. My headlights cut out just short of the entrance, swallowing everything in shadow. I killed the engine, grabbed the duffel bag of cash, and slipped out of the car. The gasoline can sloshed heavily in my other hand. My heart pounded in my ears. This was it. I moved quietly, hugging the wall as I approached the side entrance Megan told me about, an old service door, barely hanging on its hinges. I pushed it open with my shoulder. The creak echoed like a scream in the silence. Inside, it was pitch black. The air stank of mold, oil, and something older, something rotting. Then I heard it. Laughter. "Took you long enough," Jake called out. His voice bounced off the concrete like he was everywhere at once. I followed it, blood roaring in my veins, hands slick with sweat. "Let her go," I said into the darkness. A light snapped on, a bare bulb overhead. Jake stepped forward into the glow. That same smug grin stretched across his face. He looked thinner, twitchier, like the drugs had finally eaten their way through him, but the danger in his eyes was sharper than ever. He held a knife, lazily spinning it between his fingers. Behind him, in the far corner, Lily whimpered. She was tied to a rusted chair, duct tape across her mouth, her eyes wide and wet. Jake's smile widened. Cute. You really brought the cash? I dropped the duffel at my feet. It's all there. Let her go. He laughed, stepping closer. Or what? My fingers tightened around the handle of the gas can. Jake raised an eyebrow. You gonna cry at me? Beg me? That's not really your style. I took a slow step forward. Number. But this is. Before he could react, I upended the gasoline, sloshing it across the floor in a wide arc between us. The fumes hit instantly, thick, suffocating, flammable. Jake froze, suddenly alert. What the hell are you doing? I pulled the lighter from my coat pocket, clicked it once. A single, wavering flame danced at the tip. Let her go, I said again, my voice steady this time. Or you burn with me. His eyes darted to the pool of gas spreading toward his feet. You're bluffing. I took another step, held the flame an inch lower. Try me. For a long second, nothing moved. I could hear Lily breathing through her nose, short and fast. Jake's fingers flexed on the knife. His grin faltered. You'd kill yourself? He said, voice quieter now. Your own daughter's right there. I'd do anything for her, I said. And I know you, Jake. You don't want to die. Not really. You want control. You want power. But this... I tilted the flame. This doesn't care what you want. His hand shook. You've already lost, I said. You just haven't realized it yet. Jake looked at the money, then at Lily, then at the flame. Finally, he dropped the knife. I kicked it away and rushed past him to my daughter, fumbling with the ropes, tears streaming down my face. She collapsed into me as soon as her hands were free, sobbing against my chest. It's okay, I whispered. I've got you, I've got you. Behind us, Jake didn't move. He just stood there, watching as his control slipped through his fingers. I left the lighter on the floor beside the gas. Not lit, not yet, but he knew I could have. And next time, I would. As the flames roared behind us and sirens wailed in the distance, I clutched Lily to my chest, safe, for now. But